Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Greg J. Coffee Conversations with Greg J. is on election eve, y'all. Tomorrow is the National Day of Voting. However, the polls have been open for quite some time now. Dropped mine off today over at the County Administration Building in my county, Los Angeles County. Just wanted to get it over with. Little strenuous for me though, few little difficulties in terms of my registration. I received my mail at a PO box, a mailing address, and that's where I got all of my sample ballots and all of the information and notifications that I need to properly vote. But when I got there, they scanned the barcode that is on my sample ballot to identify me, and no records came up. So therefore, I had to vote provisionally. They said it was because my address was a mailing address and not my proper residence, that I had to do that. So make sure you all check and make sure. I did not want to vote provisionally, but that's what I had to do in this election. Everything was all good back in the primary, but now I guess they're having extra checks and balances out there. What I should have done is gone ahead and taken my ballot that I got in the mail. I did mark it up and everything, but that was for my own reference. I actually prefer going to the administration building and putting it into the computer. But what I could have done is taken my ballot that I marked up with all of my selections on the ballot, put it in the envelope, and given it to the clerk that was inside of that very same office. But I still say that I'm more comfortable putting it inside of the computer that is there at the county administration building. But make sure that your ballot is right, your address is right. Also, too, don't be confused. You can still register to vote on site. You can just go right up to the county administration building, tell them that you want to register. You'll register right there, and then you can go ahead and cast your vote. Well, the bottom line is that this is a critical election in this nation. It is monumentally important that you go ahead and exercise your vote. Do that with love, do that with a clear mind, do that with a way of wanting to uh, preserve peace, wanting to uplift, and wanting to promote love and happiness in the country and be effective in your communities. All politics are local, also, so therefore, you want to make sure that you study the propositions. You want to make sure that you study the measures. You want to make sure that you're familiar with the local offices that are up for grabs in this election and vote accordingly. Just vote. That's what we want you to do. Just vote. Man, I got to tell you something though. A lot is going on out there. The last time we were able to come on to Coffee Conversations with Greg J, we were talking about the reparations debacle in Sacramento. We got some answers and analysis from Dr. Anthony Samad and Carolyn Fowler. Samad from the Mervyn Dimely Institute, African American Institute for Economic Policies and Political Policies over there, Cal State Dominguez Hills. We got Carolyn Fowler from the Democratic Party and gave us some well rounded analysis of what happened in that particular standpoint. So I would just go ahead and ask that you please go up there and make sure you ask your state officials what is their position on reparations. What is their position on items of concern for the Black community. This brings me to my last point on this little coffee conversations with Greg J, is that in my community, I really needed to find out which institutions and organizations would provide me with a slate. I know that up in Los Angeles, I was able to get a slate from the Los Angeles Sentinel. They publish that every time. I was able to get a slate from Jasmine Canick, a political operator, we'll just call her that, very in tune with what's going on politically, and she publishes a slate, a recommendation. I was able to get a slate from Dallas Fowler, so that you have a variety of perspectives out there and instructions. If you don't understand the ballot measures, for instance, were giving you kind of a well-rounded explanation of that and the recommendations of how to vote. They're cheat sheets, but they're very valuable to that. So if you go out there and Google them, you'll be able to find them. If you go on to all of our platforms here at Coffee Conversations with Greg J, particularly Beach City Perspective, you'll be able to see that we have linked you up with those various sources of information. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is the day. You want to go in there and vote. Like I was saying, my community, I was looking for organizations and institutions to provide me with information of import for the Black community, information and background to guide me on how I should vote. What would harm the Black community or what would improve the Black community? What is on our agenda locally? Unfortunately, I was unable to find any. It was a little unnerving. Uh, yeah. I even asked a representative from one of the elected officials in Sacramento what was that elected official's position on reparations, and I got no answer, crickets. So yeah, I think we need a better organization in your community. Make sure that you find out who can give you great information on how to vote. It's less than 24 hours away. It's tomorrow morning. The polls open. You'll be able to get out in there. But certainly, we find that information is lacking in my community, and I do hope that in your community it is not. I hope you have resources. I hope that institutions and organizations are active. My last point today, I see remarks by Bishop Clarence McClendon criticizing Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris. And there's been a couple, Donnie Swaggart a couple of weeks ago criticizing Kamala Harris um, in the Democratic Party. Um, as a as a man of faith, I think that it is my opinion, and I reserve the right to my opinion, church folks. I think that it is improper to make comments about the elections from the pulpit outside of encouraging the people of God to go and vote. Why are we in the pulpit exercising and voicing from in the sermon about, different items? It's a conundrum that we're in. And I think that after this, we really need to go and evaluate what we need to hear and see from the pulpit. Um, that's a sticky one. But I think that it is also necessary that we streamline our commentary from the pulpit, through the pulpit, on political opinions, because we're supposed to be representing the kingdom of God. And if this is the kingdom of God, then the government that we answer to is much higher. I think what it is exercise your right to vote. That's the message. And then the rest of it, you can work yourself out. I know that there are issues of moral debate out there. I know that. I get it. Doggone it, I get it. But I don't think that it belongs in the fire of when you're trying to save souls from the pulpit. That's just a pew member's uh, opinion. You know, take it or leave it. That's all I say. That's all I have to say today. The main point of Coffee Conversations with Greg J in this particular edition is to get out and vote. That's it. That's the post. That's the podcast. Go vote. Go vote. Vote. Your ancestors depend on it. They fought for you. They died for you. They advocated for you. Exercise your right. God bless y'all. Love one another. Peace and blessings.